Hello again, valued viewer. Trust you are keeping well. We are keeping well on this side, and we're super glad to have you join us on this fresh installment of the Bookshelf Beaming Live from the studios of Western Spring Television. My name is Dami Lola Raphael. Honored to be your teaching and learning advocate. And remember, the Bookshelf is the platform where we have a relationship. We build our relationship right here with everyone and everything that has a relationship with books. And remember the mandate for this year that we are in. We have set our eyes on prioritize. I don't want to say prioritizing so that you understand. So prioritize, putting the first things first. And of course, we somehow are also talking about taking care of our eyes, prioritizing our eyes, because that's what would help us really make learning easier, especially if you have always had the gift, of sight. It behoves that you do well. Now, I want to say this very quickly. When we talk about prioritizing, it's not just you as an individual, all right? So we would want for us to spread the word. And how do you spread the word? I can't count the number of times I've had to tell especially younger persons. And right now, at those stages, and even now that I'm saying it, I found myself going back to when I was much, much younger. I'm still young, so much, much younger. And, that defiance where you're like, I can see it. And they're telling you, oh, don't read with the lantern. Oh, don't use the TV screen light to read. Oh, those letterings are too tiny. Oh, and you're just like, I can see it. And right now, you're trying to read maybe in a dark place or something. And then you're like, how did you see it? And you're like, I can't see it. Okay. So please, it's important that we spread the words. Do not let, especially our young ones, don't let them keep their eyes too close to the screen. Reduce the screen time that, the time that they have to spend in front of the screen. It is important. Oh, this is the AI generation. You can do a lot of these things, honestly, without having to use backlight. Okay. And if you're going to be using backlight, make sure that the headlight is balanced with the backlight of the screen in front of you so that you don't damage your eyes. Okay. So maybe because I'm not a medical expert, but see, if you frequent the hospital or you have the issue yourself, you would understand this. You would appreciate what I am saying better. It's okay that these children always have to use the system, which I don't believe anyway. But then even if they have to, because I remember a parent, told me some years back, over a decade now, about 12, 13 years ago, was telling me, the teacher, they had a home lesson teacher. The teacher comes and, always has the laptop and a headphone. And I'm like, what do they do with laptop and headphone? What? They always... So yes, let them use it. If they don't do that packaging, you will not believe them. You will not pay. But please, let there be a balance, all right, between the backlights in front of them. And now when I'm saying them, I'm not now just saying, okay, so it's only them. You also are guilty. You get home and then you have some leftover work from the office and you bring it to the house, and because, okay, so you want to set yourself in this the house mood, right? You're in the bedroom or you're at the study. You don't want too many people to come to disturb you because the lights are up, and then you put off all the lights and it's only the monitor in front of you that is on. You're not helping yourself. So always, please, the light balance. The light should be balanced on every side so that you can see better. As I said, discourage the kids from staying too close to the screen. All right. If you stay in some parts, let me just put it that way. So it's not like I'm pointing accusing fingers. If you're staying in some parts where there is no power supply, as it were, and then you just manage to have small solar like that, you want to manage your battery and all, and then you are having to charge the children's tabs, all their gadgets, and then they sit glued very close to the screen. Oh, they just want to be comfortable. Hey, okay. The child will feel the pain. You will spend the money, and that time that is so precious to you. I need to work. You need to spend it going to queue up at the optical center all of these things have a way of just going round, right? They say what goes around comes right back around. Let's pay attention to all of this. That's what I'm going to focus on with the mandate for this season we are in, and that is prioritize. I'm talking about lights. Lights, very important. Let us balance the light, and too much screen time is not good. In fact, too much of once too much is entering, we have somebody that is too much here, right? So not that too much. It's this other TWO, not the number too much, but the TWO much, all right? Once it's getting over, I'm being careful because we have a guest today. I really want to be careful because I don't want somebody that will be picking holes inside my grammar. Because if you are looking for English, I brought English today. All right, so too much of anything is not good. Basically, too much of anything at all is not good. So let's come over now. We have a guest with us in the studios today. We are going to be talking about studying versus reading versus study. All right, that's the focus for today. And we have joining me live on the set of the bookshelf. She is an English language graduate. She is also a voiceover artist. Have you heard any of her voiceovers? Oh my goodness. She's a scriptwriter, a budding broadcaster. So she's on that side. One day soon it's going to be on this side. Okay. She is an ardent reader. That one, if she not put it me, I'll put it by myself. Okay. She is also a movie enthusiast, and beyond being a reader, I also see her as a researcher. So if she has not put it in her bio, please include it. Sorry, included. All right, thank you so sincerely for joining us today. Joy Ande is our guest on the bookshelf today. How are you doing today, Joy? Good to
I'm
see
doing
you.
very well, thank you. Thank you for having me as well. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, we should also say thank you for accepting to be on set today.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, so let us start. Now, one of the, Joy and I have a relationship coming from some recent past, and it's been a very warm one. And one of the things that is so striking about her is, so there is this project we're working on, and then especially when you pre-inform her. Now, if you don't inform her ahead of time, she has what they call residual knowledge, right? So she comes and then she just doles out all that information. But see, just make that mistake of telling Joy, so we are going to do this. So I was also reading, hey, there is another thing. Now, when I read up on this part, I did my research, and I'm like, okay, this is, honestly, it's very inspiring, I should say. It's very inspiring. It's very encouraging, because you get to hear, oh, people of nowadays, they don't read Jare. They don't read Jare. What's the motivation for you before we even go into the topic proper?
Okay, so I'm someone who has always loved reading, like especially books. I mean novels.
Okay.
Now I read novels a lot. Like I make it a point. I may not know how many novels I read per month.
Okay.
But I know that I do read nothing less than 60 novels in a year.
60?
Yes. I can't read less than that.
That's 5 months.
I do more than that sometimes.
Okay.
And I just love books, especially books that have series.
Oh.
Like when you have like 5 books in a series, it just piques my interest, and I'm interested in doing that. I think where it stemmed from initially is from my mom. My mom is a teacher. And then my mom, she studied chemistry in school. Right. So everybody in my house, they're all science students. I'm the only one who decided to go the art route. And I did that with the knowledge of, okay, I love reading, I love writing, I love anything that has to do with creativity in general. So I think that's where it stems from.
Amazing, amazing. And you have been encouraged from home as
yes.
Well. Great. So let us break this down. Studying, just give us a blanket overview. What is study? What is reading? What are the differences? Which one should come up first and all that. But let's start from the basics. Just give us a basic understanding of what study is, what reading is.
Okay, so I'll just do from like an English language standpoint.
I told ya.
In English, we have reading. Okay. Under reading, we have skimming, we have scanning, we have studying. So those are different forms of reading. Okay. So when you say you're reading, you can either be skimming. When you say you're skimming, that means you're just checking out the lines and you're not paying attention to whatever you're reading. You know, when people just flip pages, that's what they do when they say they're skimming. Okay. It's just skimming through. Then when you say you're scanning, then you're actually looking at the words when you're scanning, but you're not paying attention. You just put like 1 second on this line, the other second on this line. But when it now comes to studying, you're paying conscious attention to whatever it is you're reading. So I'm reading a paragraph, and that paragraph is talking about maybe education, for instance, how education is important for not only children, but also for girls as well. So somebody else might just read and say, that thing is about education. All right. And then I might come and be like, oh, I read it, I studied it. And it's not just about education. It's talking about education for both girls and for boys in so communities. So that's the difference.
The details.
Yes, you pay attention to details when you're studying.
And that, you know, that detail makes it look like this other person is brilliant. And
exactly. But it just boils down to attention. So people usually say people who study, they have a longer attention span, but I don't think so. I don't think so. While growing up, I have a younger brother. So if I want to like take dibs at him, I'd say, Steven, you have a very short attention span. And he'll get annoyed. I'll be like, what do you mean I have a short? Because my brother loves reading as well. He's a science student, but he reads a lot more than I do, even. Really? So he really loves reading. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that you have a short or long attention span. It's just something you're interested in.
Exactly. I was going to mention that now. I think it's more about the interest.
Yes.
Because I personally have found myself in environments where, so there's this conversation going on, and it's looking like you don't even know anything at that time. But I console myself with the fact that, hey, it is what you know you are saying, though. If I should also come out now, I'll make you feel like you don't know anything. So I think it's really, you know, about that interest. What catches your fancy? And, you know, that thing you've really gone in depth in. And there is also the saying in learning that the higher you go, you know, the deeper you go in learning. For instance, you're going for further degrees, after your first, you're doing your second, you're doing your, even for your first degree, you know, at some point you seem to know, like you're taught everything, and then you start going higher and higher and higher, and then you become a professor. You become blind to other things. You don't know so much about them, except most of what you know is limited to just that environment. Now, when some other persons are saying some other things, you're just staring. But the moment you start talking, you become
more vocal. Yes, and then you can just talk and talk for at ends on that particular thing. So,
all right. So go on.
Okay, I think it all boils down to interest. Like you said, I had a teacher in school, so I went to like a broadcasting school.
Okay, great.
One time, so and he said something about journalism or presenting or broadcasting is you have to know something about everything. So if you're not somebody who likes to read, when you're in this kind of space, you need to learn how to read.
Promise.
Yeah. So you just have to be interested. If that's the path that you want to follow, you have to build that interest one way or the other.
And truth is, everybody is a presenter. That's the truth. You go all out there now, because especially in this advent of social media, whatever information you give out, you don't know the one that will just make you, you know, trend.
Exactly.
You don't know the one that will make you trend. So the spotlight is on you for everything you, even if you don't post, oh, I'm just living my quiet life. Somebody's camera is on you without you knowing. You're there in your public means of transport, and somebody just decides that I'm going to film this thing. So the spotlight is always on you, and some way, somehow, everyone is just a presenter. It's not until you set up the ring light, or you have, the whole works and all of that. Now, some persons are born readers. I was talking about residual knowledge earlier on. Some people are born readers, looks like they are just naturally brilliant. They don't need to put in the effort. So what can some other persons on this divide do to even it out? Or are they perpetually at a disadvantage?
I don't think so. And some people might argue that some people are like inherently intelligent. Yes, there's the issue of IQ. Okay. For instance, now some people just have a very higher IQ.
Naturally, they didn't have to work.
It might just be through genes.
Oh,
there are some people who, I don't know if it has been scientifically proven now, but I love watching movies a lot. So I've seen some movies, and some of them are actually built on real life facts, where there are some children and they're just born geniuses. And then some other child has to like put in a lot more effort and struggle to even get to half of the points where the other person has gone. So I don't think anybody is disadvantaged.
Okay.
It has to do with whatever you want to do in life. For instance, if I say I want to be a doctor, let me just use something basic. For instance, now,
doctor, I want to be basic before they'll come for us.
Okay, it's not basic. No, it's not basic. But then something if you ask many young children, what do you want to be? I want to be a doctor.
The most popular career.
Exactly. So that's why I said, let me use that career, for instance. Now, another person might be like, okay, just take the book, because you have to learn a lot of diagrams and all those stuff.
Yes.
And then you take it. Some people have photographic memories. Chakam, you just see it like this. It's already in their head already. Well, you have to memorize everything.
Every part of it.
And you have to pay extra attention to detail. But the reason why you would pay so much attention is because you want to be a doctor. Do you understand? But somebody else who is not interested in that space, for instance, and they see somebody who you might not even be interested in the thing, but it just comes naturally to you. Okay, for me now, I'll use myself as an example. Everybody in my house thought I was going to be a nurse. Because before you say one thing, okay, let's try this thing. What if you use this thing? It's not like, I'm not saying I like self-medicating now, but I just have a lot of interest in it. And I love biology a lot as well. And I have family members who were nurses and stuff. I even thought I was going to be a nurse as well. But it just came naturally to me. You just look at me, you look like somebody who can be a nurse. It was just natural. And some other person might be like, this nursing thing, everybody has said is very hard, though. Even if you want to do it, you might be discouraged and be like, me that I don't have this to say me, Lori, we have had this.
The
I don't know Yoruba. I'm not very
study.
Exactly. So you might just be discouraged.
This is actually the first time Joe will be speaking Yoruba.
Oh my goodness.
She said it on camera. I'm gonna cut this part. Go on.
It was unusual.
Oh, very unusual.
So some other person might be like, everybody has said this thing is very difficult. Even if I might want to try, I'll just be like, no. If I pick the first textbook, it's too hard. And somebody who is not even interested in that line, they just see something about it and, this thing looks very simple. Looks very, very easy. So nobody is disadvantaged. If you really want to go in that path, you would find a means to do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. So that's how I choose to look at it.
Oh my goodness. And don't despise the fact that you have to put in this extra effort. Okay, as she has said, nobody is at a perpetual disadvantage. It will continue that way if you continue the way you're going. All right. And one of the other things that I've observed about persons who put in the effort is that they seem to now come out better than those everybody has assumed or agreed, with by consensus that, this one, You know, you're in an environment and, oh, let's do a debate or let's do a quiz. There are just these names they always mention. And that person who seems to have been pushed to the back, just because, okay, so the person gaffed at some point or the other, and no, would actually have more information because the person has done due diligence, you know, to put in that extra effort. So we'll need to take this commercial, this very quick breather, rather, at the listener. Therefore, once we come back on the other side, you know, of the breather, we'll come talk more on studying and reading. And Joy will be giving us some of the tips she uses that works for her in, you know, how do you know exactly where to go and what to read? And, you know, you're just giving those very apt responses. You know, you want to, Joy is brilliant. See, forget it. I say so. She is brilliant. She is gifted, and I'm so grateful for her. Okay, so let's take this break, and then we'll come back and, you know, come and give you all these points that she uses that works for her and brought her right to the bookshelf set. You're welcome back. I mean, we had all of that conversation right here with Joy on the bookshelf, talking about reading versus studying, that we lost track of time. So I'll just pass the baton over to Joy right now to tell us how easy it is. What are those nudgets? What are the orijo that she uses? So those of you who are asking for AOC, listen.
So I would say, first of all, know yourself. That's the first thing. Self-discovery. So you know what kind of person you are. Don't be overconfident as well. Know the kind of person you are. You know that, okay, I can spend 1 hour on this topic and assimilate everything. And if you're not that kind of person, don't beat yourself down. Know that I'm true to myself. It would actually take me a day, 24 hours to assimilate this particular topic. Okay. So when you're not lying to yourself, everything falls into place.
To thyself be true.
Yes. So it becomes a lot more easier when you're not lying to yourself, when you know who you are, first of all. Okay. Then another thing is to know what studying techniques work for you. Okay. And don't follow the crowd. In school, before I got into the university now, my mommy would tell me that when she was in school, they put their leg inside cold water, inside ice water, and then they will not sleep. So they will read very well. I tried it. And guess what? I slept.
With all the ice.
It just doesn't work for me.
Oh my goodness.
Night reading does not work for me at all. I don't know how to read in the night. I believe that my night is for rest, and I should be able to rest. If I'm reading at night, I'm not at my best. That's just it.
One of the things very quickly about rest is actually also part of the process. Don't, work and not rest. Rest is part of the process.
Yes. So having known that about myself, I now discover that, okay, the best time for me to read is during the day. All right. If I read early in the morning or in the afternoon, for instance, I'm good. That is me. So if you know yourself and you know that your own reading time is in the night, in the midnight, when everybody has gone to sleep, that's when you read. Please, by all means, do you. All right. You know, there's some people who they play a lot during the day. There's some classmates that I had, and then they are at the top of the class, but you will never see them reading.
How do you do it?
Never. When you can catch them is during the night. They can do overnight for Africa. They are reading. And you will never know that this is time that this person reads. So don't say, okay, because my friend is going for night class, I want to follow. And you go there and sleep throughout. When you could have been on your bed sleeping. So know yourself, first of all, and know what studying technique works for you.
All right.
Then next, I'd say is your inside that study technique. Now, study plans. Have what's it called now, routines.
Okay.
Have routines. While I was in school, I love group reading.
Oh, great.
I love group reading a lot. And when I'm doing group reading, it's like, okay, we share the topics amongst ourselves now.
Okay.
Maybe we have 5 topics and there's like 7 of us, for instance now. So you take this topic. I did English and we had to do a lot of literature as well. So we had a lot of text to read. You read this book, and then you come and teach us like we have never been taught before. So that's how we did it. And everybody,
delegating.
Exactly, you delegate the stuff.
Okay.
But group reading doesn't work for everybody.
This, I think, most of these points, definitely Joyce has more. Most of these points boils down to just discovering who you are, knowing what works for you, and separating yourself. So these persons, if reading in the afternoon, daytime now with daylight, is what works for you. It's just in the system for some persons that once it's dark outside, irrespective of the number of lights you put indoors, they must shut down.
Yes.
You understand? So if don't go and start playing with such persons daylight and then snooze off. When it is night time, knowing what works for you and all of this, some of the techniques that Joy has definitely given us would work for us. Subsequently, hopefully, we'll be able to bring Joy back, have some more conversations on this. We're pressed for time at this time, and maybe look into some other aspects, because how does Joy see movies? I think I have a big, except I have an assignment on that movie, I don't sit through. It's very rare. I've sat through some movies, but honestly, I could almost count it on the fingers on one hand. But she's coming, reviewing that. How do you keep up with the Kardashians? Thank you very sincerely, Joy, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me as well.
I'm very sure somebody has been able to, you dear viewer, have been able to pick something. On the next time on the bookshelf, it's going to be bigger and better. Remember to prioritize. We're talking about the care of the eye for the season. I'm making what is important. One of them is discovering yourself, knowing who you are and what works for you, and being unapologetic about it, as long as it doesn't harm other people and it gives you the success that you so desire. Until next time, my name is Damilola Raphael, your teaching and learning advocate. Looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of the bookshelf. Of course, I have already said my name. Until then, it's goodbye. Thank you.